Ah,
Before Captain Tuan Haji starts, I just like to say, this is history is being made today. We've always had fantastic ladies and gentlemen, but today we've got an officer and a gentleman who's going to address us.
And another record, I have to say, you have set another record,
Sure.
Captain Tuan Haji, and that is, I think you are the youngest speaker that we ever had.
Youngest.
So well done.
Go ahead.
I mean, actually the oldest, but really it's,
Probably the healthiest.
yeah.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Awaluddin, and thank you for having me on this show here. And what I'm going to do today is to share with you what I'm doing. And I'm what you call a natural farmer. A natural farmer. I did some courses in Thailand, Japanese courses, a Japan farming, natural farming course in Japan, in Saraburi.
Oops, he's called to prayer.
That's the time for me to do my prayer. So I did some courses in Saraburi. There's a natural farming course in Saraburi in Thailand. I did twice there, the course, and I met some people also from Malaysia doing the course over there. And today we are having with the country, or we are facing two things in our food supply. A, the soil has been destroyed or continually slowly being destroyed by the use of chemicals, which rendered the soil useless. You have to put input of fertilizers and also things inside it, okay? And the product is not as good as the natural systems. Second is a shortage that people don't want to do planting, especially rice. You ask any young man who got no job, said, you want to plant rice? Everybody will say no, because they see rice growing as a poor man thing. That's why we're importing more and more rice every day. And the young man doesn't want to go to the rice field anymore. Okay, that's a problem, because if people don't grow their own food to eat every day, it's a problem for the future. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me?
Yeah, they're all on mute because they.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Today I'm going to share with you what is natural farming.
Oh, should we go back to the beginning when you talk about that? Oh, sorry.
Natural farming.
A natural farming. Okay.
Natural farming means follow how nature grows things. And the teacher, our best teacher is the jungle.
Sorry, we start from the beginning.
You see the jungle. Jungle has many trees, many different type of trees, creepers, everything's growing in the jungle. And you ask yourself, who plowed the land? Who gives the water? You say it's nature, right? It's nature, right? But actually that's the system. The whole jungle actually is continuously reproducing compost every day through the falling leaves, which is carbon, and the poo from all the birds and animals, which is nitrogen. And together with humidity, rain, composting takes place naturally every day. And these composts are good for the plants, right? So the trees and the soil and the leaves and the birds, the ecosystem, all play a role in producing compost for the plant to continue life in the jungle without anybody planting the seeds or pouring the water or apply fertilizer. That's natural farming. So what I'm doing here around my area here is to imitate the jungle, all right? Imitate the jungle. Now a bit about the relationship between the tree and the microorganisms in the soil. The tree is like a husband, okay? It's like venue. And the microorganism in the soil is like bulan, okay? When venue brings back food, fish or whatever it is, if bulan doesn't cook it, venue will not have any food to eat. So this is called a relationship, a symbiotic relationship. One helping the other for both common benefit for both of you, right? This is what all natural farming is all about. And in the soil, there are lots and lots of microbes.
Huh?
You didn't play that one just now.
No, it didn't play. Yeah.
There are a lot of microbes, ants, worms, and they all perform function. They all play a role like a wife. Because when plants and when trees produce photosynthesis, make photosynthesis to produce sugar, carbohydrate, and protein, they share this with the wives, the microorganisms in the soil. This is working on. So the plant cannot take the minerals unless it's processed. The soil has got all the minerals, but the plant cannot take it directly. It has to be processed by the microorganisms, including the worms. Now, today I just want to talk about the worms. There are 3 types of worms. One is called the epigeit, which stays above the soil in the jungle and below the leaves that fall down. Worms that are like sunlight. And they eat the soft leaves through the stomach, and the worm poo is humus, which is food for the plants. And the next worm lives below, about 4 to 5 inches or 6 inches below the soil. And when they want to eat, because the leaves are all on top here, they come up vertically up there, consume the food, and come down again, thereby making vertical holes, which allows water, air to go in the soil. So in the soil, they must, for things to grow, to live in the soil, the microorganism and all the rats and everything, they must have 3 things. Nutrient, in this case, the worm produced the humus just now. Water and air. Similar to what you put in your stomach for breakfast or for lunch. You have nutrient, water, and air. So the works of the worm here.
Not on mute. Please mute yourself.
Okay. As I said, this worm is called the energetic here, moves up and making vertical holes, which allows rainwater and air to come to the soil, so that the microorganism can live, because they are also like us. We need nutrient, we need water, we need air, oxygen, right? And then there's the one worm that lives about 1 foot or maybe 13, 14 inches down here. And the worm doesn't go up. It just go making a horizontal holes in the soil and in the soil, making horizontal hole in the soil, and it's taking the organic matter in the soil as their nutrient. Okay, so therefore, in the soil, a good soil, a healthy soil has got a lot of living things like there and doing all the function they are supposed to do. When you put pesticides, when you put non-chemical chemicals that this first died, and the soil become compact, no more life in the soil. So the live soil must have at least, a square meter of soil must have at least 200-300 worms in that system for the soil to be good. So this is called a living soil. It's called soil. Of course, you can have a dirt there, but you put this one on the ground, you put seed, it will not grow, because there's no living, nothing living there. There's no nutrient there, nothing. It will not grow, all right? So this is the soil. The other part is, I want to share with you, is called sustainability. So to understand sustainability, you must divide all the beings here into 3 categories. First category is called the producer. Producer is like an apple tree, or a rambutan tree, or banana tree, or corn tree. that give fruits which we eat. Second is the consumer. We are the consumer. We eat, goat also eat, they are consumers. And the third one is called the decomposer. And this decomposer is the one that is in soil. They comprises of many, many things, and most of it we do not know. Top it up, the microbes, the nematodes, the protozoa, and anthropods, and many, many, many things which some we don't know. We don't even see how they work inside there. In fact, this whole is a new world inside underneath soil. It's a world, fantastic world. All right. The more we learn about it, the more easier for us to understand how to grow things. All right. If you go to the jungle, you see a hive of leaves out there, use your hand to wade through, you see the bottom part getting darker and darker and darker. This composting is taking place already. So when you put a soil in the town here, when you just plant the soil on the side of the road, don't worry, soil. What you can do is put a lot of leaves on top of the soil, and you can help leaves on soil. And when the leaves meet the soil, there's a reaction. Just like a man meeting a woman, children are born. Okay. This will happen when leaves fall, carbon, with the help of the nitrogen from the bird's dung, and then water availability, composting takes place. That's what I do here. I collect all the rubbish, I put it on the ground. I don't even till the soil. I didn't even till the soil. I just, maybe I put a fork and sort of aerate the soil a bit by a fork, not a hole. Okay.
Yeah, we have proof. This is the rubbish.
This is rubbish I'm collecting. The rubbish from the front is free. Of course, you have to have energy to collect it and put it here. And I use it for composting. And the other part, to get the nitrogen part, I use from restaurants, food waste from restaurant, I pick it up. And this is the part that many people want to do. Because the food waste sometimes mixes the things and that, and you cannot have time to collect all the rubbish or the plastics out. This is the problem where you have to have a relationship with the shop, say, don't put rubbish, don't put plastic, just put the organic matter there. And that's not easy. We have to train people to do this, unless you do it yourself, all right? But my house myself, I actually collect my rubbish by having 2 buckets with cover. 1 bucket, all the organic matter, 1 bucket, all the plastics and the bottles, all of that, and then I throw away. But this one, I convert into compost. Okay, you can start from your house. So I said, urban farming, natural farming starts in the kitchen. Okay, now I would like you to try this. You already get your bucket of organic matter, put it in the flower pot, put it and put a bit of soil, flower pot, kitchen waste, soil, and leave it for 2 months, 3 months, 3 months. You find that you can even grow in the pot without having to buy your soil from the garden shop. This is how you make your own compost and your own soil.
Apologies, this should be 2, yeah? It's not 20, it's 2 to 3 months.
Yeah. So within 2 to 3 months, not 20 months, 20 months are done, you die. Okay. I plant my beans here. What I do is, when I plant beans on the ground, when it start growing already, I got a lot of problem with garden snails. So they kill it all the way. So now I make the seedlings first until they grow a bit big, climbing already, then I start planting. Okay.
Which slide do you want?
Can you see the film stuff? Show the film for a while.
Which one?
The video on the.
You didn't send to me.
I sent.
No, don't. You wanted me to show the video, but I didn't receive it. Yeah.
You go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So
You any question to it?
okay, do you want to
Ah.
just show where this is? This
Okay.
yeah, maybe you talk about this.
Was it? Show again. Which one?
This one is just a photo.
No, there. Behind.
Next is
Quran one.
the Quran one.
You sure
Okay.
what's
Yeah. Knowledge from the Quran.
Now, another thing I want to share with you is that, that yesterday I went to UPM and asked a professor there, a lecturer at UPM. I said, you teach about farming in the university, and he specialized in agriculture. And I said, whenever you did your PhD, did you ever refer to the Quran as a source of knowledge? None. Nothing. So what you have knowledge you have is already, what they have in knowledge is what men's knowledge. What they do research, that. But the Quran tells a lot of things. I showed to you now before the start of the show how you can preserve paddy with stock that can last you 7 years. This is good for food security. Right? I don't know, the Quran tells us. And the other thing that the Quran tells us also is that if you want to have a country that is peace and tranquility and prosperous, your food must be around you. You don't have to go 50 miles to get your food. So when you do urban farming, we are growing our food around us. And today in my farm here, the row there, they come and pick up the chili padi or the kunyit or serai. They can pick themselves up.
Raja Ulam.
And this is happening here in my lorong Setia Bestari 4. So that I'm happy because of this, because people use it. And plants actually they reply back. When you harvest it, they fulfill their mission. The plants have a mission, produce food. They obey. They obey God, they obey Allah. The food, and they're happy. And I've seen plants, they so want to produce food that even the paddy this size produce seeds. I've seen it myself. This size, I neglect it. I just leave it there in the field. When I sow some seeds down there, and they're all close together, and I leave it there without looking after it. It grows about this high and has fruits. Small, but not many, but has fruits. And I've also started about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I planted a poly bag of rice in my house here in Kuala Lumpur here. And I counted the seed. I plant one seed only. I get 400 seeds.
Wow.
When you go to the bank, you put 1 ringgit, how much do you get per year? Here I put 1, I get 400. In fact, that's not so good. People have got it 15,000 seeds from 1 seed.
Wow.
This is what I'm trying to share with you. Don't be afraid to plant rice, because I want the people to plant rice in this country so they can keep it, they can harvest it, plant again, and keep it hanging somewhere, dry place, and you can eat that Friday for the next 7 years. Okay.
I just want to show
Why
the
would the
picture.
fruit-
Now I'll show you the picture of the paddy. What you see
This
just now
is not my paddy. This is taken from somewhere else.
from Google, from photo, Google photo.
It's a good size. All right. You keep them by stock mean you cut it and keep the stock there.
This one you said like paddy is like lalang.
Now, people, as I told just now, somebody asked a young man, you want to grow paddy? It's good for the business because we're importing 18.1 billion cereals in 1 month. Now, how much do you want from this? And paddy growing is not a high tech. Even grandmother with education also, but grandmother can still plant it. But yet, our mind is being corrupted. We don't see this as development because we need to eat rice every day. Still me, I don't know about you. Rice or noodle, whatever it is, but still from rice base. This is important. And this is recorded in the Quran also. In one chapter of the Quran, it says, if man doesn't know where he comes from and where he's going, then look at your food. Allah says, God says, look at your food. How Allah manage your food. First, it says we grow rain in torrents. Rain, water is important. Before agriculture, you must address the water problem. If you water costs too much, then you're not making anything. Then we split the earth. God says he split the earth suitable for plants to grow. Okay, first it says, look at your food. First it says we grow rain, we drop the rain in torrents. Then we split the earth suitable for plants to grow. This is done by the earthworms, by worms making all the holes in the soil, making the soil soft. And then we grow grain. First thing to grow is grain, rice, wheat, or barley, or this. And then grapes and herbaceous. And then olives and dates. And then garden with many varieties and species, which means that this is talking about biodiversity. Because plant help each other. Plant talk to each other. Plant like just us. If I've got no nitrogen, I'll give some to the other plants that needs nitrogen. Long beans, for example, have a lot of nitrogen, and he gets excess nitrogen. He is not stingy like us. He gives to other people that needs nitrogen for growth. And this is what the Quran tells me. All right, and then we grow fruit trees and grasses so that you can enjoy your fruits and your animals can enjoy the grasses. So this is our spectrum of food we have around us. So when we have this around you, God willing, we'll be a happy and prosperous country.
You want to talk about this natural farming? Do nothing.
Well, have you heard about Mr.
Kawaguchi?
I remember the name afterwards. I forgot the name. A Japanese farmer, a natural farmer. He grows rice, barley, wheat, no tilling, no plowing, no fertilizer, no pesticides, no weeding. Sorry, Mr. Fukuoka. Mr. Fukuoka is a famous naturalist, still living. I think it's about 90 years plus. He went all around the world talk about it. But Professor, you don't say too much hard work. But actually, he produced a lot of things. And on his 12-acre farm, I think in somewhere in Japan, and he did it very well. And a lot of people come and help him to do the farming. Mr. Fukuoka. Masiburo Fukuoka. You can see the book. He's got a book called The Straw Revolution. And this is how he grew his rice. Okay, first the wheat farm, there's the wheat on the ground. And 1 month before the wheat, has ripened, he takes some rice, takes some clay dust, and put on the clay dust some rice seeds, and then he just, sieve it, what do you call it? He did that like that, and makes rice balls, the ball of mud balls, full sticking rice with it. Then he goes to the wheat field, he will throw into the wheat field by hand. And when he harvests the wheat, some of the rice are growing already, he just steps on it, doesn't matter. because the rice is so tough that when you press on it, it will grow again. So when he harvests the wheat, he'll take the seeds and the straw, he just spread it along the rice field, the wheat straw. And other plants underneath they grow, the wheat grass grow like that. And the straws become fertilizer. This is how he does it. No weeding, no plowing, no tilling, no till, no fertilizer, no weeding, all these things. No.
No pesticide.
No pesticides. So that's how he does it. And we're trying to follow here. And we are assured that our food has got no chemicals because we planted it. All right. In natural farming, there's no such thing as pest. They are harness the system. In monoculture, like you plant beans, then you have problem. Okay, once the insect comes, when they have long strings of fruits. But if you plant beans for 10 feet beans, another 10 feet something else, then the plant, the pest or the animals are confused, so you run away. All right, or you can use some repellent, but biodiversity is the key issue here, because when they plant, when the insects or pests takes in whatever it is, they take only about 2.5% of the food, nothing more than that. But you have the whole thing, monoculture, no. And plants help each other. Here, for example, you see ducks and rice. This is my passion. My passion, because when I was small, when I was 10 years old, my house slightly on the side hill, and then my rice field in front of my house. When I opened my duck pen, the ducks run to the rice field and spend there most of the day until about 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening. I take some sago, which is plenty growing along the river. I just chop a bit, chop, and I call them, and the bird follow me, follow my orders, come back to the house, eat the sago, and then go there and go to the Patido. Sorry.
The pen.
And then next morning you collect the eggs. When I go to school, I take 2 eggs and I change to the shop for money. That's my pocket money. Yeah. What's my cost for reading the ducks? Negligible. Today, you grow rice here. In 1980s, when we started growing 2 crops of rice per year, we have to import fertilizer from Manchester in England, because the land doesn't give food anymore. It's not sustainable. Modern farming is not sustainable. You have to input from outside, which is cost money. I had a natural system whereby I use the ducks. And the ducks, when they play in the soil, they eat also the weeds in the soil and the rice field. They eat the insects, the pests. So it's a win-win situation between back to natural farming. And of course, I'm dreaming of the day when I go back to Kampung, plenty of rice field, plenty of ducks, plenty of chicken, plenty of fish, plenty of vegetables. Today, when I go back to Kampung, nothing. That's what we are, pathetic. I'm sorry to say, we have to change. We have to change.
So how do we
And
grow?
you're going to help us.
How are we going to grow paddy in the urban environment?
How are you going to paddy in an urban environment? As I said, I started 15 years ago. I take some poly bag, about 1 foot diameter. I put some compost. I didn't make my compost then. I got to buy the compost from somewhere. I put some soil and compost together, and I use tap water to water it every day. As I said, one plant I planted one plant, I get 400 seeds. But since then I grow on the ground, I can get about 1,000 seeds. Okay, So if you have 3,000 poly bags of rice, paddy, 3,000, yeah, 3,000, you can get 1 ton of paddy per season. And 1 ton of paddy, you can get around 560 kilograms of rice. Of course, you don't plant 3,000, you plant maybe 1,000, 1/3 of that. 1/3 is 330 kilograms of paddy, which you can get about 150 kilo of rice. And you don't have to turn to rice immediately. You can keep it by the straw with your hand, and then it lasts you 7 years. How about that for food security in the city? Right? Of course, you plant for enough for your family. And you can keep it when, of course, when bad times come, you can always share with other people. This is what we're trying to do in the city.
Can I ask Pak Haji? So
Yeah.
right now, are you planting paddy in any of these places that you are planting?
If you go in the shop on Lorong Siabestai 2, I planted about 100 plants of paddy on the 11th of February. So it's about one week plus old already. You can see it. Chan didn't take a picture.
No, but tomorrow there was going to be a plant exchange, and it's going to be in the same area. You can come and see it. And by the way, on next Saturday, Pak Haji is going to do a hands-on class. So volunteers are most welcome to come and really see it and for life and do some work and really see how it's done. I will post it afterwards at the end. Yeah.
All right. Now, 100 plants is nothing, but I'm trying to tell you, you can, if you have a no-through road on the roadside, along the road, you can put 3 rows of paddy or 5 rows of paddy for about 200 meters. You can have a lot of pots. And you can use fertigation as a method of putting water that if it doesn't rain. But you can make a composting so that you can put a lot of perlite, or you can put a lot of sawdust that allows to retain water when there's no rain. Think about it. Under the extension wire, transmission wire of TNB, how much space do you have to grow your rice on poly bag?
Pak Haji, where do we buy the seeds from? I mean, not seeds, sorry, the rice with, the raw rice that we can cook, that we can plant. Where do we buy those?
You can buy, they're planting, they're growing rice in this country. So they can plant, get from some selling people who sell seeds.
Shopee.
Shopee also sell it. I don't know whether Shopee sells or not. But seeds are not difficult to get. The one that is planting every day. The plant, there are areas like Kedah, they got the 303, or they got Myanmar 916 or 917 and Myanmar 716. This is Madi variety, Braswangi, fragrant rice. I got somebody here today. They said he's living in Thailand, so he's bringing some seeds for me from Thailand. I don't know what seeds he's bringing. He's trying to help me. I used to plant basmati also one time, but unfortunately my staff didn't hold some seeds, so it's gone.
But perhaps we can get some seeds from the chap from Langit, the guy who brings the rice from East Malaysia. Yes,
that's right.
Yeah, you can get some seeds from there.
Yeah, so I can contact, if you like, friends, what I'll do is I'll reach out to
Langit. You can get Langit. Barrio rice is quite a good thing. They are doing that in Langit, huh?
Yeah.
And Langit is doing that doing that in Nepal, trying to get the farmers to follow their system of farming using organic things, not chemicals. So they are doing good there. Langit is doing good. So we produce a lot of langits here, that's all. You become langit. No, we grow rice. We grow rice.
Okay.
Because rice is most important because our rice gives you energy so that you can do work.
But in the rice field, you also grow other things, right? So that will give us varieties.
Yeah. But in the rice field, popular rice field, you can use the biodiversity between duck, fish, rice. That's a very common in Thailand. Duck, fish, rice. 3 things. And goats. Not goats, sheep. I want to use sheep. The dung can be used for making your compost and a lot of things you can do. For example, natural farming, to understand what natural farming is, for example, in South Africa, the weather is not like here. The weather is 6 months is wet and 6 months is dry. So during the dry season, the lake that produce all the fish starts shrinking. What happens is when the animals go and feed in the water, he runs along the bottom of the lake because it's dry, and he starts pooing along that. And when the water comes, that's the starting of life again in the pond and in the lake. And you ask me who grows the fish in the sea? Not me. We eat fish every day. Caught in the street. It's ecosystem. That's God's work, not my work.
I move on to the slides, yeah? So this one you already covered, right? Biodiversity. Anything else you want to say about this? The language by itself.
Yeah. Okay. I have a farm in Jandabai, 2.5 acres. That's why I practice my natural farming. So I'm growing rice, but because during COVID, I couldn't move there. So it's left a limbo at the moment. But I grow rice, fish, ducks, even edible snails. It's natural. It comes automatically into the water. I don't grow them. It just come by itself to grow in the system. It's a system, all right? And I have vegetables, and these are enough for you every day to feed yourself and family for yourself. But on the larger scale, I'm trying to move into using the extension wire of transmission wire of TNB underneath to grow rice and polybags with fertigation system. So then we will be, God willing, more than self-sufficient in rice. And it's in the kampung.
Haji,
yeah.
Haji, can explain this photograph a little bit?
No, actually, this is the mosque area. This is the car park here. Here I plant. There's a
Planter box.
Planter box made of concrete, blocks. I plant. In fact, I did mistake here. I didn't put the. This is the planter box. This was done by the city hall. So they didn't grow anything on it. It was deserted. So I just take it up and start growing in Brazil here. But I didn't put a lot of leaves down there. So I had to put fertilizer. After a while, you don't put fertilizer if it's not doing so well. But if you allow the system to work, the worms to work there, and you keep on feeding the worms, then it will grow well. Naturally, just like the jungle.
You want to
this is I put a wire mesh, then I use dry leaves, and then I put in kitchen waste from the restaurant down there. But since the COVID, there's no the restaurant doesn't have any kitchen waste, so I stopped there for a while. I had about 10 of these, so now it's I didn't have any except near my house where I use my own kitchen from my house to make the fertilizer.
I think we should ask the neighbors to donate all the kitchen waste to you now.
No, this is a bit difficult.
Okay. Anything else? Okay.
You didn't show papaya trees there?
No, I didn't take a picture of papaya. No. But I got a picture of the papaya. Okay. Mulching, you want to mention about mulching?
Yeah. But the trees are growing already. The papaya trees are growing already. All you got to do is take leaves and put around it about this thickness here. And after 2-3 months, if you go get the leaves, you can see the roots are taking the leaves at the bottom. already, Okay.
And cardboard.
This is how to make garden beds. You can use you first of all you put the leaves, put leaves, and then when you plant, you make a size of a pot. You put a composting mix there and you plant the compost. So within 3 months, meanwhile the compost is actually feeding on the compost, but after a while the leaves become compost already. So the whole area become good soil.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So there'll be a hands-on class. On
Okay.
5th of March.
On the 5th of March, Saturday, at time 9 a.m. to 12 noon. God willing, we can have at the garden plot car park next to shop lot in Lorong Setia Bestari 2, next to the Stella Maris school. Lorong Setia Bestari 2, Bukit Damansara. Small patch there where fewer women and myself are growing something there,
So,
including my rice plot.
so you can RSVP in the Have Hope chat or directly to me, just so that we know how many people are going to come.
Yeah.
Please show up. And then just to let you know too that tomorrow, Prof. Chan has organized through the Klang Valley Plant Exchange an event to exchange plants, and also people want to sell plants or things associated with planting, and starts at 9 a.m. I think till 1 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think I can stop sharing screen, and then you can ask questions, or you or Venu, you want to lead in the question?
Yeah, so first of all, I just want to say, Haji, it's so, it's so inspirational how you so focused, so single-mindedly, you want to get this done. And really, I've heard about a lot of us planting vegetables and fruits, but never paddy. But you have really opened up our eyes about planting paddy, even within our homes.
Yes, you can do it. Well, we'll see on if you come tomorrow, you can see it growing. Well, a bit small now, but God willing, in 3.5 months' time, we have some paddy growing.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask friends to unmute and ask the questions, because there are not very many of us. But okay. I'll start by asking, the rice that you are planting doesn't require water. It's not flooded with water.
This is my difficulty at the moment, because rice needs water. Like any plant, rice needs water. All right. When we grew rice last time, when we in the kampung, or now they grew rice, put water inside there. The water is designed for the fish to come in and start breeding there, and people will have not only rice but also fish without having to grow the fish. That was the last time. This is nature, how nature works. Not only fish, snails, and all the things that can live there. But today, unfortunately, the rice field is contaminated with pesticides, and all these beings down there that does a good job cannot do a good job. They killed it. They are being killed. Pesticide kill. Okay. So I have to plant. I have to every day. Now I got to put water. But fortunately, these few days it's been raining, so I don't have to plant water. Okay. But you have to put it. But you can solve this problem by using fertigation.
Yeah.
Fertigation, and then you solve this problem. In fact, you can control fertigation. You can even run on your handphone from the house without having to go to the field. Yeah. Okay, did that answer your question? Yeah. I have to put water. That's my. I could put water every day. I have to carry water from. Fortunately, somebody in the shop there allows me to take his water. So I put. But I wish I can use rainwater, but I don't have rainwater normal. I use just normal tap water. I'm just experimenting there to see how it grows.
Tuan Haji, there is a question by Cheong asking, how about planting paddy bukit?
In fact, you go to my house and you go to my farm, I'm planting paddy. Actually, different. You have to go there to see the system. is integrated with 6 months. For 5 months or 6 months, it is a pond, and then for the next few months, it'll be a rice field. The same pond, because when you do fish, when you harvest the fish, we have a lot of fish dung in the system, and this is good fertilizer for the rice paddy. So you don't have to buy fertilizer. They design that way, you know. And then when the rice growing, say after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you can release your ducks into the rice fields. They can eat the worms, eat the flies, and all those things that you call pests.
Okay, while we are waiting
So-
for other
so basi-
questions,
Mm.
yeah, how do you, let's say, okay, you have planted, you have the rice in husk. How do you remove the husk? Do you take it to a miller to do it, or do you do it yourself?
Well, today you can buy a rice mill. They can produce quite a from Shopee at a cost of 1,800 ringgit. Shopee or Lazada, you can get rice mill, a rice mill yourself. You have your own rice
okay,
mill. This allows you to have your own rice in the city.
I see.
Yeah.
Fantastic, really.
You go to
fantastic.
Shopee, and you go to the rice mill, mini rice mill, you can see it yourself there.
I
Some
see.
quite okay. I'm buying one, but I haven't bought yet. When
Any
my rice
questions,
ready, I'll
friends?
buy one. Shopee.
Yeah,
So
so
basically what I want to do is that we don't see the system of rice growing in the country is being fragmented. That's a problem. In those days when the kampong, I look after the seeds, I look after the field, I look after the water, I look everything until I eat the rice. One chain. Now you got combined harvester to harvest. So if it's rosa, your paddy is gone. This is a problem. People in this country don't have any large areas for machinery. We have only small plot, 2 acres, 3 acres, that's it. But with natural farming, you can maximize this, and you can grow the biodiversity. You can produce 10 to 20 times more than the production of the rice itself. You know what I mean? The same
Yeah.
area, yeah. It's all the same area. This is called the biodiversity. You enhance the value, upgrading value of combination of ducks and rice, fish and rice, all this combination, and goats. The dung goes to making compost and all those things. It's all how it is connected, how you see how the connection, how much production you can have. So basically, I want to tell you, life in the kampong with natural farming, with biodiversity, you can increase your income 10 to 15, 20 times if you want to.
yeah, it's amazing.
This is where we should be doing, instead of getting more chemicals, getting more in the soil.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not our trend. We are so used to people now with PhDs in chemical farming, and they forgot about natural farming.
Yeah. So what you said
That's-
about everything interdependent, everything
Yes.
interconnected, it makes so much sense, right? Organically, that's how we are, organic, one organic system.
Yes, you see, you look at yourself and the trees. The trees gives out, photosynthesis gives out oxygen, right? You all know about it. Taking carbon dioxide, which we breathe out, and give out oxygen, which we breathe in. So that's how we are connected to the trees. The tree also provide food for us for living in this earth. You understand the connection, and you design yourself what connection you want to have to produce your income from the. And
Tuan Haji, a question is asked for your address so they can come and visit your rice, because I think we're all fascinated by your rice field that you're talking about.
No,
So Chan, could you
it's not
kindly
a-
share the address here
I'll do it again, yeah?
in the chat box? In the chat box.
In the chat box, okay, I'll do it in the chat box.
Yeah.
It's where the event is taking place tomorrow.
11, my house 11.
The paddy in the meat express there. So it's
Yeah.
just the name of the shop is called Meat Express. I think, and then it's the car park adjacent. Car park, and it is right next to Stella Maris School.
In Bukit Damansara.
Lorong
Setiap besar dua.
Setia Bestari Dua. Okay. And the landmark is Stella Maris School.
So friends, look at the chat box and you'll see where you can visit tomorrow.
Anyway, anytime.
Or anytime, but Haji is
I
so
won't be
kind.
there.
He says anytime.
But I won't be there. Only on tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I'll be there.
And the 5th of March. Tomorrow
And 5th of March.
Tomorrow you can actually come and do the plant exchange or buy some plants or whatever people are selling. I think most of the people, some of the people on this call are participating as well. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So any more questions, friends? While friends are thinking about what questions to ask, Chan, you might want to show the fruit of literally the fruit of the labor just now.
No,
This is,
she said the other fruit.
it's not very big, but he's got ones even bigger.
So what is this? Where is this plucked from?
From the next to the longkang near
Okay,
his place.
let me show you my features to you. Yeah. Let me show my pictures to you.
Oh, let's see whether we can show the pictures.
There.
Which one?
Papaya.
The papaya.
Papaya.
Okay, let's show this. Can you all see? Oops, not so
Put
clear.
your place lah.
Oh, you have to try. You guys can see, right?
Yeah. Wow. This is by the longkang.
Yeah.
Yes.
And let's show some more.
Okay.
Show some more. Lemon.
You know, this is truly inspirational.
Lemon.
His lemon.
Lemons by the longkang.
Yeah.
I swear to you, they're so big and fertile. Everybody's like amazed because, and it's just composting, his leaves. Oops, I'm not very
Oh,
good.
wow. Pak Haji, you are amazing, honestly.
No.
You know, the amazing thing is no fertilizer, just compost and worms, free land.
Yes.
Like that. Okay. Some more papayas.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a teaser, friends. It is for you to go and visit either tomorrow or the 5th of March. Tomorrow is a tree exchange.
The fence.
So this is the low hanging fruit.
This is the papaya.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
amazing. Yeah, really low hanging fruit.
So I don't see any more questions, but Pak Haji, maybe you can tell us, just name us the types of fruits and whatever you're planting. Just rattle off the type of fruits that you're planting in your gardens.
Well, I planted things which I don't have to pour water every day, Vegetables, you have to pour water every day, right? So I planted like aubergine, the wild aubergine, terung telunjuk. You know terung telunjuk? Do you know terung telunjuk?
I know terung, but I don't know wild aubergine.
Eggplant,
Which one? The
but
small
a small one.
The mini one.
Cherry plant.
Oh, the cherry.
Then okra, but okra not successful, being attacked by some insects. So I couldn't get it I couldn't harvest the fruits. I don't have the solution yet.
If anybody has a solution, let Pak Haji know.
Yeah.
I think there's
They
some
call it fruit
questions.
fly. Any questions?
Yeah, Yudmi, there are some questions.
Yes. The question is, do you need permission to plant, especially if you're going under the TNB area,
No.
etc.?
No. The 10B is only my proposal because there's a lot of area underneath there where there's sunshine and rain, right? But we have to prove it that joint venture with the TNB, and then it's a win-win situation. And we are also still importing rice, so I think there's a good chance that we can get it. But I have to prove it first that I can produce so much. I have to prove that, and I have to produce it, or we have to produce it to show the benefits from the system. Okay.
Yeah.
The permission from for example, this area, I plant this on the roadside in my house, Lawrence was in part. I planted. It's by the roadside.
Mexican sunflower.
Yeah, Mexican sunflower. Yeah, by the roadside. I plant this by the roadside. See my car there. There's a road, and here the plants. I asked permission from the neighbor in front and said, do you have any objection if I plant something here? Said, go ahead and help me water the plant also. So all I could do, give a smile. Of course, I know him, it's a toe. I know him for a long time already. So he said, oh yeah. And of course, when I had my first harvest, I gave some fruits anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Azizul, you're absolutely right. The last thing we want is also get into trouble with the authorities. Maybe we can start small by, in our gardens, in front of our house, the little plots that we have around us. We can start with that.
Yeah.
But
And then, like you say, we can talk to our neighbors. If the neighbors are not doing it, we work with our neighbors. They will be very happy, I'm sure, to see this. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm starting at the mosque here. Around the mosque, there's some areas where a lot of things. I'm going to plant a lot of papayas there, since I know how to grow papayas now. And the fruit can be shared by everybody. But the intention of producing food is not to make money, is so that it can be eaten by people. That's the intention, the niyat, or what I call it, the intention. So you do it, and then it makes you happy.
Like since you're expert on papaya, somebody asked, some papayas do not fruit. Is it a male plant, and how do we know?
I'm as dark as you are. So you just plant. If it's the male plant, then you just chop it off and eat the shoot. I mean
that's a very good practical answer. Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen a show in Australia where, just like all our houses, we have pavements, right? So the pavements are oftentimes just soil and grass. So they have planted those into, nice plants that grew out of that. And people were quite happy to just do that, so the whole neighborhood just sort of started planting that. So I'm not sure what Dewan Bandaraya will say if we were to start something like that at the point of the pavement.
I think Bandaraya is so, in fact, I'm working together with Bandaraya, so they help me also by sending me the lorry load of rubbish to my place.
The leaves.
The leaves, for example. So I make friends with them, and we chit chat, and the workers, the down level, not the top people, the down people. And they also sometimes help you cleaning up the place also sometimes. So they are quite good. And so as long as we are putting fruits and people can enjoy the fruits, I think it's no problem. I think they are working together with us.
The grass cutters are actually very happy because they got less grass to cut if we start growing, They do. And I said, don't cut this area. And they're very happy. So they finish cutting the grass very quickly. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. That's right.
Exactly. I think it's just like gotong royong, right? People, you help me, I help you, and everybody benefits, right? I think, Pak Haji, can you comment on growing in the balconies? A lot of people live in condos, and you showed me something with the water bottles. You started putting soil and started growing.
It doesn't grow well.
Oh, it doesn't grow.
Doesn't grow well because I just experiment. I still at the learning stage.
Oh, okay.
Learning stage.
Okay.
I give you one pot, right?
Yes.
Has it growing?
No, I transferred it to the ground.
Cheong, Cheong, thank you for all the questions and your comments. You seem to be a person very familiar with farming yourself. That's wonderful. You say male papaya has long inflorescence, and local authority usually will allow people to plant but not build house. In us planting, they're quite open to it. So very helpful to know, Cheong.
So we
Thank you.
don't, we don't need to get permission. We just need to do the work.
Yeah. So friends, could you kindly unmute and please help us thank
Officer and gentlemen and Chan, obviously,
yeah,
so kindly brought Captain Tuan Haji to our in our midst.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tuan Haji. See you
Tuan
tomorrow.
Haji. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Awesome.
you. Very good session. Thank you.
Thank you
I'm gonna
so
share
much.
this with you. Share it with you.